FlossTube. I'm pretty sure I spend more time fidgeting with everything, trying to get ready to film a FlossTube video than I do actually filming the FlossTube video. Sorry about dipping out on you guys again. Seems like with stitching, it's either 100% in or 100% out. Thankfully my stitchy bug has come back, so that's good news. I got a new MacBook and my husband bought an iMac, so we are now officially a Mac family instead of a mixed operating systems family. And what that means is that because my husband has an interest in video creating and photography and all that good stuff, we think that Final Cut will be worth the investment, and so we're going to do that. That should be with the MacBook. That should also make editing these videos a lot easier rather than trying to edit them on my phone. So fingers crossed, but also smart enough to not make promises that I might not be able to keep. There aren't a lot of life updates still in the house that we purchased. It's been hot, but I know it's been hot everywhere this past week. Last night it broke. The heat broke. We had a big storm. We haven't really had any good storms with a lot of thunder and lightning. They've all been really blustery storms with lots of rain, but not much. I don't know. I really like thunder and lightning. I'm feeling a little shorted here. But we had the storm come through last night and we ended up with a neighbor's tree limb in our yard, so we cleaned that up this morning. And so the heat broke, but now it's like 82% humidity, so it's more than soup outside, basically. Other than that, really, there hasn't been a lot going on personally, which I'll take it. I'll take it. The last year has been banana pants enough without needing to add in the anything else in life changes. So still working remotely from home, still going into the office every other week. That seems to be working fairly well. There are days where it's really tough. There are days where the only other person that I talk to is my husband. And when you're an introvert and you don't really like to get out, working from home makes it easy not to do that, but it also means that you're pretty isolated. So we're trying to find ways to balance that. I thought of maybe starting a stitching group, but my problem is obviously commitment and consistency. So I don't want to necessarily start something if I'm not going to be able to maintain it. But we'll see. It takes time, and we're finally getting settled. So, and last night while the storm was going, power lines were on fire. So that was interesting until there's some kind of test that you can run, I guess, while my husband explained it to me all last night, and it was all very professional. The way that he explained it, but basically it checks itself occasionally, and if there's an issue it will short itself out, for lack of a better term, and that's what happened. And it sounded like almost like a transformer blowing, so it was a big pop. So yeah, basically the storm is the biggest update in my life right now. Again, I'll take it. So I do have some plans, though they're not, I actually didn't grab those, so I'm gonna have to turn around at some point to get that to show you. Maybe, we'll see. I do have some plans, I do have some haul, and I do have some progress, because on the stitching front, the news that I have is that I did join the School of Magical Stitches, and I am in House Hufflepuff. When I tested on the Pottermore test the first time, I was put in Ravenclaw. When I retested, they put me in Hufflepuff. So I'm really like a Ravenpuff or a Huffleclaw, depending on how you like to mix those words. But anyway, this past week, was a travel week. So really that I wasn't expecting to get much done, because this is starting my 3rd week in the School of Magical Stitches. And the first week was really just learning how the whole thing works, because it's a lot of information to take in at once, because you've got your weekly homework, you've got the reading challenges, you have the extra credit, you have the ultimate challenge, then you have the extreme challenge, then you have the alternate reading challenges. I mean, there's just a lot going on. So the first week I kind of just sat back and just watched it all. This past week, like I said, was a travel week. So I was actually back in Illinois for Monday and Tuesday, actually Sunday night, Monday and Tuesday, and I came home Tuesday night. And from Tuesday night, because I didn't take my stitching with me, but from Tuesday night until yesterday morning, I got in 1,000 stitches for the weekly homework to get the bonus points for completing all of the homework assignments. And then they had an extra weekend challenge where for every 200 stitches you did, you got an extra point. And I was only able to get in 200 stitches. But considering where my stitching has been and the fact that I got in 1,200 stitches in 5 days, but really I think I didn't start stitching until Thursday, so that would be 4 days. I'll take it. So I worked on 3 projects this week. They managed to fit into all of the homework assignments. I'm trying to think, there was 5 challenges. No, I worked on, I promise next week I'll be more organized. I worked on 4 projects. And I don't know. Oh, it's downstairs. I'm not going to be able to show you that one today. But I can grab, nope. Anyhow, I don't have it. So plans are going to be with a lot of not images. It's going to be a lot of words. So one of the challenges, it was Dolores Umbridge week, which I really wish I would have joined Magical Stitches. I wish I would have even known it was a thing. It was my fault for being out of the stitching world for not knowing that it was a thing. I wish I had joined with the first book, because let me tell you, I love me some Harry Potter. The 5th book has always been, I've done a few full rereads of the series, and I've always struggled with the 5th book. Just so you know, lots of spoilers. I absolutely despised Dolores Umbridge, and I understand that that's the point, but I have a special unhufflepuffiness lack. Manipulation is one thing that really trips all of my triggers. I can't stand it. And so Dolores is a master manipulator, and I can't stand her. I hate her. And so that's a thing. But Harry was also just really whiny in the 5th book. Really whiny. And he has a reason to be. I'm not saying he doesn't. But it's also the book where we're fully getting into the dark stuff. Obviously, at the end of the 4th book, we have our first real death, and so that kind of signifies it. But that's at the end of the 4th book. So the 5th book is where things basically hit the fan. Things really start to get real. And like I said, Harry was just really whiny. So I've always struggled with the 5th book. But I'm glad I got to join at all. And I'm hoping it goes past just the Harry Potter series. So anyway, like I said, we're welcoming Dolores Umbridge in the homework assignments this week. So we're all kind of doing things that are things that she likes, her likes and her interests. So one of the challenges was to stitch 200 stitches in pink, in the color pink. And this is going to be, and I don't have it because it's a digital pattern, I might be able to insert it here. But this is Hugs and Kisses from the Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. And I'm going to save this off to the side and we'll talk about it during plans and not during whip updates. How about that? So that one's going to go off to the side. That's my project packet. Then, okay, so this is the one that I don't have. I stitched 200 stitches, 200 plus stitches. I don't know exactly how many. I did it until I ran out of floss on the needle that I was working on at the time. But to put 200 stitches into a project with the designer that starts with a letter from the word strict. So your designer could have been an S-T-R-I-C. So I chose Giant Harry Potter by Clouds Factory, and where I was on that, and I'll insert a picture where I was here, and I'll insert a picture of what I finished here since I don't have it with me. But I did about 200 stitches in the Ravenclaw banner this week. And because I was short on time, I decided to hop into the next project. I didn't really think that I was going to be able to do anything with these and that I was going to have to do penalty stitches, but then I realized I didn't need to stick strictly to my whip album, and I could use any project that I had that would fit the remainder of the 3 other assignments. So the 3 other assignments, and I worked on 1 project for the other 3, so instead I'm not bringing it up yet. The first one was that it needed to have tea or teacups. The second one was that it needed to have a cat or kitten, a house cat. It couldn't be a wild cat. And then the third one was that it be a design that started with a letter from rules, R-U-L-E-S. So I have had the fabric since before we moved, but this is another BAP, and I have yet to finish a BAP ever. And so it's a big one, guys. It's still on my Q-snaps because I just finished working on it yesterday. I'll probably take it off today, actually. I started the Epic Storybook Princesses by Clouds Factory. So Epic Storybook Princesses is the design title. It has Mrs. Potts and Chip in the Beauty and the Beast segment, for lack of a better word. And then also it has Lucifer from Cinderella, the house cat. So I put in 600 plus stitches in, and that was a new start this week. So I'm pretty excited to actually have started it. Oh, you can tell it's been a while since I've done this, huh? This is, I don't know the count. But I do know that it's Ada. It's navy. I'm gonna guess I probably went, it's either 16 or 18. It's definitely not 14. I can tell you that much. I'm gonna guess 18 because it's a pretty big pattern. Because I didn't want to mess with buying each individual one as I came to it, so I just bought everything all at once. I'm working on the border right now, and I'll probably work on the panels. That's a better word. I'll probably work on the panels as I go down, because, and just like I do with Giant Harry Potter, I'm gonna work it down so that if I could never try to do an entire border, because the anxiety that it wouldn't match up by the time that I was done is too much to think about. So I'll probably work on the panels as I go down, the border and the panels as I go down. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about that. And then the fourth pattern project that I worked on, and by the way, this is lots and lots of fabric. I'll probably put that up later today. This one I'm going to continue to work on, and that is Treasure Hunt Bookshelf by Heaven and Earth Designs. I think, to be fair, I think the last time that you saw this, I think there might have been just that much done. I had started by working it in a diagonal, and I think I might have actually had like 300 stitches in the way that I'm doing it now. And then I decided to try on the diagonal, which it did make stitching easier, but it felt like it was definitely more time consuming for me to do a row of 10 at a time. And because most of my design, it seemed, and this may not be true for all of them, but it seemed like it was like 10 different colors. So you had to stitch, do a color, stitch, do a color, stitch, do a color. And then parking was also more difficult because you needed to find where it was in the design and the next jog up, and the way that I was doing, I didn't care for it. So I've gone back to doing kind of a stair step for the page, and I'm almost halfway done with the page, and I've only put in maybe 2 weeks worth of work. So that's pretty exciting. I stitched the 200 stitches yesterday for the extra point, and then I stitched another 100. I knew I wasn't going to make another 200 stitches, so I turned it in with 200 stitches, and then I did another 100 last night. I'm starting in on some of the extra credit challenges for Hufflepuff, and this one is the biggest. Put 500 stitches into your biggest whip, and this one is easily my biggest whip. Size wise, maybe not. Epic Storybook Princess might be bigger, but stitch count, this is definitely bigger because this has more. This is full coverage. Epic Storybook Princess is not full coverage, so this is going to require. That's my definition of my biggest whip. So I'll put the goal for today is to put another 400 stitches into this so I can be done with the extra credit assignment and ready to start our weekly assignment tomorrow on Monday, which brings me to plans, and I don't have them all with me. The homework assignment this week is gonna be harder, in my opinion, than I was thinking it was going to be. So what I'm going to do, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to work on any whips that qualify, and I think the only one that I have is Hugs and Kisses from Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery, because the assignment is 1,000 stitches in either words or the colors black or blue, one or the other. It's a lot of stitches, guys, in a lot of words. I don't have any predominantly, I mean, with full coverage, you could easily do that with blacks or blues if you had a darker or brighter, depending on what shade of blue you're using. But I don't have anything like that. And I have 3 definite things that have words. I don't think that I'm coming close to any words in Giant Harry Potter. I don't think that there are many words, if any, actually. So this one has some wording inside the box. I don't know if it'll be, I'm fairly positive it's not going to be 1,000 stitches worth. I have, in my whip album for Magical Stitches, I do have a to-do list by Lizzie Kate, but I don't have any at the floss. But I am getting ready to place an order on 1, 2, 3 Stitch, so I could just put those flosses in, or just do the DMZ equivalents if I really wanted to. We'll see. So that's kind of where I'm at. I haven't looked yet, but I'm going to chart out how many stitches are in, like I said, the one that I have going, and then I'll work on that first. And then I'll kind of go from there and see. I also have the pattern for In This House We Do Geek, which is nothing but words. And I've thought about that, but I really don't have a plan for it yet. I mean, I have a ton of fabric to choose from, but I don't know if it's anything that I want to put it on. I don't know what kind of, I mean, I have a drawer full of floss that has no plans whatsoever, but I don't know that I want to pressure myself into starting something just to start it if it's not something that I want. So we'll see. We'll see. Maybe between hugs and kisses and my to-do list, I'll have enough stitch count. It's gonna be a lot of work this week. And I know Saturday and Sunday we have plans. Friday night, Saturday and Sunday. So those will be my plans. And to be honest, I know it's only the first week, but I didn't think that I would like to switch out projects that much, because I have not traditionally in the past enjoyed starting and stopping on projects. And I typically, once I tell myself that I'm going to do something or challenge myself to do something, I don't want to do the thing. So like if I make a list, I'll ignore that list. It makes me feel good to make the list, but then I don't follow through with the list. It's a whole different conversation for a different day, but I did everything that I had set out to do for Magical Stitches this week, and that feels pretty good. So we're going to give it another week. We'll see how it goes. I think it'll be okay. So that brings me to haul, which this is haul from months worth. I think this is haul from even the last time when I had already done a video and forgot that I had haul. So this goes, like, some of this goes back to January. It's now July. But I do have a few things that were from this week, though. I went ahead and picked up, excuse me, itchy nose. These are cardboard bobbins. I thought that I wanted to get away from bobbins, and I started actually converting to just doing cards with pre-cut skeins, or a skein pre-cut to lengths, because I thought it would be easier. It's not. I don't like it. So for my BAPs, I'm going to go back and kind of do a combination of the two things that I liked to do. I'm going to put them on a skein on a bobbin, and then I'm going to put it in the floss box for that specific project. So like my Haid now has, the treasure hunt bookshelf now has its own floss box. I got rid of all my floss boxes when I moved because I was convinced I didn't need them. I don't want to talk about it. So I'm sure that I'll have a 1, 2, 3 stitch order for some floss boxes. I'm going to also get like the smaller 7 compartment floss box, because I don't like this. I don't like putting it in that. I would rather have a little box to go with each project so that I can pull the box and just go. So 1,000, I think they were like $10 on Amazon. 1,000 cardboard bobbins, which obviously I'm not going to go through anytime soon. So I'm probably stocked for life. Then I did get some project bags, and these are from So Much to Love. I did have her subscription for a little bit, but my problem is that I like to have the matching ones. And I think for the shipping and the 2 matching ones, it was like $80 a month. And I just couldn't justify that. They're great quality. They are absolutely gorgeous. But I think what I need to do for me personally, instead of doing them by the month, is just purchase them as I can or as I need, because they are fantastic bags. So I did the 11 by 11 because that's the Q snap that I like to use, and then the buddy bag for sewing notions. And I mean, they're absolutely gorgeous. I love them. She does such a good job. But like I said, I think I'll just order them as I need them versus on a monthly basis. So I have a bigger one of this. This was the February one. And that one currently has, I think, Humans After All in it by Clouds Factory. But yeah, I mean, they are such good quality, guys. They're nice and quilted. They're thick. And then, sorry for the crinkles, I'm going to try to do this as quickly as possible without, there it is. There we go. Okay. And I also belong to a, well, it's good and gone now, but it's a Grad Guard of the Month club. And I don't know which month this is. I think this might have been March or April or maybe even May. But it's an 11 by 11 Grad Guard, and I get a new one each month. And I think it's only like $13, $14 a month. So it's nice to have a little subscription. And then see, remember that whole like to make the list but don't follow the list? This is upside down, first of all. It is a whip tracker. And I think I got this from So Much to Love as well. I don't have, yep, from So Much to Love. And basically it gives you a place to write down all of the information on your whips, which I was doing with index cards. So this is actually a nicer alternative. I just need to sit down and do it. And then the strap comes over the side to close it. And I'm just going to bring up this whole box because there's a lot in it. Okay. So I got a oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the name. It's from That's So Calico. I do know that. I know what it is. The words right now, they aren't there. But this is for my Rudolph ornaments. That's what's in there right now. I've got a little needle minder and all of my floss that's already off of the card. I'll think of it after I'm done filming. But I really like the paisley design. I'm kind of picky on my fabrics, so I feel like it's a Bitsy Bob or something. Bitsy Bob, maybe? It's possible. I like it. These were just some of the extras that came in the fabric of the month, or no, the bag of the month from So Much to Love. It's a little thread keep and some finishing stuff. Oh, and then this was in one of the bags. It's a little needle minder. Then I've got some peacemakers, which I think I have like another 3 packs over there. And I know what's happening is that I just toss them in, convinced that one day I might not have needles. That's not a thing, guys. This, and this is how you can tell. Well, this is, I keep this together so that they don't come apart. But this is the fabric. You can tell how far I've gotten with this. This is the fabric and the thread and the fabric for Welcome to Pumpkinville, the year-long monthly stitch along for Frosted Pumpkin Stitchery. I wish I could tell you that Humans After All is in better condition, but I'm still working on February. I just need to let these monthly, I always think that I'm going to maintain it for the year. That's not true. I need to just be honest with myself. Okay. And then, oh, this is another thing. Yep. Okay, So this is one of the patterns that was in one of the bags. And then that one was in February's. And I believe those are exclusive to the Bag of the Month Club, but I could be wrong. So, oh, I gotta work on those too. So when I heard that Lizzie Kate retired, all I could think is this, you know, there's a lot of times where that happens. And then patterns become really hard to find. I mean, look at Mirabilia. And I don't know that that's what'll happen with Lizzie Kate, but I don't want to chance it either. So I bought all 6 of the 6 Fat Men. And this one was inspired strictly from Steph from Just Keep Stitching, Pam and Steph. I saw her working on it in one of her FlossTube videos. It's been a couple months now because I ordered it after I watched her video. FOMO is real, guys, when somebody retires. Then I bought the rest of the Christmas Rules patterns because one of them was hard to find when I bought these and I wasn't playing. So these are they're flippets. And I do want to do Christmas Rules. I mean, that was one of the first projects that I found and really liked. I really like Lizzie Kate. I really do. When I first started stitching again, it's been about 3 years now when I picked it back up. And then I started these and then forgot that I had them. You know, you start with such good intentions. So I really liked these little cottages of the month. I saw somebody do them. I think she did them on individual patterns and she did them, some glare there, there we go. She did them on kind of corresponding colors and they looked really good. And then I really just like these. So that is from Country Cottage Needleworks, those last few. And then after seeing Jessie from Jessie Marie Does Stuff do Joan Elliott's The Reader, I really fell in love with it. And so I picked up the pattern. Oh boy, guys, there's so much. Another yearly pattern for it's Hands-On Designs A Year Celebrations. And I love those. And then another Hands-On Design from the Let It Snow Bungalow. I absolutely love this. So we have a fireplace now. That's one of the new fun things. I can stitch a lot of these and put those on the mantle. And then I absolutely, like, I am not big on ink circles typically, but something about this specific design caught my attention. I don't know if I saw somebody stitching it on Instagram or if somebody did a FlossTube update, but it is Baroque from Ink Circles. And I do plan on stitching it. Oh boy, there are 28,400 stitches. Okay, so I do plan on stitching it in the called for threads, which are Gloriana hand-dyed silk floss, and it was like $30 just for the floss, I think. But this will be a piece for me, so with the investment, because we all know that there are people out there who don't appreciate the time or finances that go into making a cross stitch. And then just some 32 count charcoal Belfast for the Let Us Know Bungalow, because apparently I thought I was going to start it. And then last but not least, I bought 2 more. I'm not getting them out. You guys can see. You know what they are. I bought 2 more Paco thread organizers. It takes 2 for a Haid, and I have a Legend of Zelda bat that I want to start, And so I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and use, it'll be 2 per project. I might buy 2 more like next month, just kind of to increase my inventory. This house makes noises. I'm convinced it's haunted by a friendly ghost. Or it's just an old house. It was built in 1910. So anyway, yeah, I may just go ahead and buy a couple more at a time, just to get like a few. I know I maybe just 2 more, because I really do not need more than 3 going at a time. As far as I don't need more than 3 Haid-sized projects going at any given time. So I could do my Legend of Zelda one, and I do kind of have Disney Epic Princess going now, so not Disney, sorry, Epic Storybook Princess. It's not licensed. So yeah, that's my haul. I have been watching FlossTube here and there. A lot of times it's going in the background. This week I have caught up with Jessie from Jessie Marie Does Stuff, Pam and Steph from Just Keep Stitchin', Kay from Kay's Cross Stitch. Some of them were always recent videos. I started, I think, A Link Is My Homeboy video, but I don't think that I got it finished because I think I got sidetracked with like lunch or something. So I need to definitely get caught up with my fellow floss tubers. And for reading, I have been reading a lot. That's kind of what happened with not filming another FlossTube video for so long, is that I was reading a lot. I was working pretty hardcore on my blog. I went to DC. I guess I could have included that in my personal update. I went to DC for 5 days. It was a lot different than I thought. National Treasures definitely built me up for a big downfall. We did see the Declaration of Independence. We did see a lot of the historical monuments, but the town wasn't as old as I was expecting it to be. And I don't know if that makes sense, but I just expected it to be a lot older than it was. Anyway, how that ties into reading is that a friend and I met and we kind of took a little girls' weekend, which was great. And we went to an annual book convention. It's the American Library Association, and they have a yearly convention with publishers who are on the floor, and they have a lot of advanced reader copies that they give away. Nothing really stands out for books that I've read since the last time we talked. And I don't know if that's a good thing or not, because I know I've read some really good ones. Either I've read too many that they're all a blur, or they weren't as good as I thought they were because they don't stand out. So I don't really have much of a segment here. But this next week I'll be working on a bunch of words for stitching. And if you stuck with me this long, thank you. And I don't know when we'll talk again. I'm hoping it will be only a week, but with this chaotic work schedule, as far as not being at home, it's not easy. So I won't make any promises that I can't keep, but I'm hoping to be around more regularly. We shall see. Thanks for sticking with me, guys, and I hope you have a great week heading your way. We'll talk later. Bye.